Hello and welcome to Non Sequitur News. Today is July 7th, 2024. It's Season 3, Episode 189. I am Mayor Watt, and that is the Sentient AI from the future.
Good evening, ohmTown citizens. Welcome to Non Sequitur News.
Today we're going to be talking about cops chase a bunch of peckers, words matter in AI, one of the best games, ammo vending machines, laundry and dishwashing AI, multi-material laser 3D printer, Earthbound simulated Mars, streaming has made world safer. I can't read today. And Tesla won't free up batteries. And finally, sunglass color matters. That and more, maybe a little snark. And I'm a little discombobulated because I did a flip-flop of a bunch of stuff. And on the other side, I've got a complaint. Yeah, that's the way you want to start out a show. All right, I have a complaint. I'm gonna air it. It's like the Festivus, right?
Oh, the airing of the grievances.
The airing of grievances. So I'm irritated because when I do a live stream, it goes out, but then it's in its own vertical, and I can't just move it over to. I can put it in a playlist, but it doesn't show up in my standard videos.
Is that a feature?
I think it's a derp. It's not. It's a feature, but it's really a derp. Now, maybe I'm derping and I don't see it, but the only way to fix this, either you download your own video and then re-upload it so that you can put it in your own category or in the category that you would normally do, which is non-live, or you do an edit of the live and save it, but then it has to process the entire video again and then move it over. Both.
I mean, that just seems really inefficient.
Super high friction. Absolutely drives me up a wall. I cannot believe that other streamers / YouTube YouTubers haven't said something about this, because maybe if I'm messing this up, if I'm missing this, someone send me an email, mayor@ohmtown.com. Let me know, or post a comment under this video or any other video. I read the comments, so go for it. Let me know what I'm doing wrong, but I just don't see it. I can't just... so basically what happens is, if you go to youtube.com/ohmtown and click on videos, you won't see several videos. Well, now you will, because I moved 4 of them over manually today. But actually I moved 6 over. But for several days, no video was posted because I figured that I would just leave the live videos live. So there's a bunch of views on it. Now I've hidden those and re-uploaded essentially videos that I streamed. So frustrating. Anyway, so we're back. I don't know if there's something you wanted to say, go for it.
I don't know that I have much to add other than that makes no sense, and I can't believe other YouTubers haven't complained about that.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Why do a live stream, categorize it as only a live stream, and not put it into the main video offering? Just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, and the reason why I'm complaining about this is because maybe somebody isn't interested in live and they never go into the live category, and they don't see it in a playlist because they don't subscribe to the playlist. So they never see my latest videos. The last 6 videos weren't even published to the general videos list. They were only in live. Yeah, very frustrating. Actually, and now I have to go back and make sure that all of them actually went into my new uploads and I didn't mess up something in the rundown. It's just a nightmare. Not really a nightmare. It's a pain in the butt and high friction. Anyway, that's not what everybody is coming here for. They come here for like tchotchkes for the
For the flare?
for the
Have
flare.
we
Yeah.
exceeded the minimum flare?
I have no flare on right now. As a matter of fact, it's just me. That's the only flare I have. All right, folks. Well, if you want all of today's show notes, you can hit !NSN and that'll pull up today's articles. And if you want all of the podcasts, you hit !pod. And if you want all of the show note commands, you hit !show notes. And that'll give you all the rest of the commands. We have 4 shows today, starting with non sequitur news. And then we're going to do the continuity report. And then I'm going to evaluate. I've had a rather friction-bound day today. So we're going to see, maybe I'll just do a time machine episode for tomorrow. But we have fun articles, and I don't know. I want to have some fun. So anyway, which means streaming. It's a blast. I love doing this. So I don't know. Maybe phone a friend and tell them all to come over and hang out. Okay, wait, I need to close that. All right. Let's get into these articles. The very first article for today is over in Non Sequitur News. Watch as loose chickens lead officers on a chase around a neighborhood. Officers in Ohio.
This is the kind of police chase I like.
Yeah. Officers in Ohio were given the runaround by some loose chickens after an excellent chase. The chickens were eventually caught. Oh, Dad, you're working for ABC News? Oh, they have cams. What?
Okay, this is great.
Yeah, so if you're only listening to this via the podcast, the silence is us kind of going, oh my gosh, there's cop cam.
And there's multiple chickens, and they seem to be going in different directions from each other.
Yeah, there's like 6 chickens, and they're like cats, you know? You go to reach for them, and they accelerate. What the heck? What? Oh, it's that again. Doggone it. So, yeah.
Oh, looks like they got one.
Good for them. It's a very good use of police force. So that's all there is to this video. But if you want to chuckle, follow that link. You'll get a chuckle out of it. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Reality Hacker. The words that give away generative AI text. This is a Wired article. You may or may not run up against a soft paywall. I am a subscriber, and so I have access to it. But the words that give away generative AI, from delves to showcasing. Certain words boomed in usage after LLMs became mainstream. What the?
Doesn't that make you wonder where the source of those words are? Because,
Right.
like, maybe it came from one source and then it got replicated.
Yeah, I don't get it, because these words are from the lexicon generated by the LLM. So the context of it and whatnot, it's all bound within whatever it is that was pulled into the large language model. So it's from us to us. This shouldn't give away anything other than most people don't use the word delves. And showcasing, actually, I don't know.
Showcase itself shows up, I think, a lot, although maybe that's post AI, but showcasing, not so much.
So let's see what they say here. The results suggest that at least 10% of the 2024 abstracts were processed with LLMs. This is talking about how a group of researchers has established a novel method for estimating LLM usage across a large set of scientific writing by measuring which excess words started showing up much more frequently during the LLM era, 2023 and 2024. So they, where did they actually, it says it was in a preprint server. 4 researchers from Germany's University of Tübingen and Northwestern University said that they were inspired by studies that measure the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic by looking at excess deaths compared to the recent past, and by taking a similar look at excess word usage after LLM writing tools became widely available in late 2022, the researchers found that the appearance of LLMs led to an abrupt increase in the frequency of certain style words that was unprecedented in both quality and quantity.
So I wonder how they um, eliminated the variable for instance, somebody famous using a word and then it suddenly caught on or something like that. I know these aren't the types of words that you'd see in a meme or something, but
it's kind of interesting. I don't know what they actually ended up doing other than they analyzed 14 million paper abstracts. I don't know why they don't refer to it as just abstracts. Published on PubMed between 2010 and 2024, tracking the relative frequency of each word as it appeared across each year. This is amazing. 14 million abstracts.
do you think they used AI to do that?
Yeah, guaranteed. Well, large language model stuff. How did they get 14 million abstracts so fast? Nah, that's a ton of data. There was a person that, one of the founders of Reddit actually, let's just say something very bad happened to them when they were downloading this volume. They were actually charged because they were getting research papers, but and eventually, yeah.
Well, I guess they have access to them through their academic connections, but it is interesting. I mean, that is a lot of abstracts too between. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I misread that. I thought that was only 4 years. It's 14 years.
14 years. Yeah. 14 million papers. They had to parse 14 million papers. They only took the abstract, but the abstract is basically it's a very short.
Right. It's a
somewhat
overview,
dense,
right?
Yeah. Overview.
Is it a showcase by any chance?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And they delved into the 14 million paper pile.
You know what? To my point earlier, this is obviously not common usage, right? An abstract, I don't think, because it's scientific in nature or academic, is probably not, or I assume is not representative of the general communication in whatever the society is. So maybe that point is out the window.
No, you're kind of on the right track because they say that they didn't notice anything year over year sudden spikes, except for things like Ebola in 2015 when it was a spike, Zika in 2017 when it was a spike, and coronavirus lockdown pandemic in the 2020 to 2022 period. So you see it, but I guess in the 2023 era, words like delve and showcasing popped up. For instance, right? They say delve in scientific papers has been widely noted in the recent past, for instance, but previous studies generally relied on the comparisons with ground truth human writing samples or lists of predefined LLM markers obtained from outside the study. Here, the pre-2023 set of abstracts acts as its own effective control group to show how vocabulary choice has changed overall in the post-LLM era. So is it the AI that's doing it? Or is the AI basically reflecting what the most popular word usage is?
Right. And also, are people using terms that are optimized, for example, right? SEO?
Yeah, sort of for the search engine kind of thing. See, I know that in some organizations, that's exactly what goes down. They look at the historical context, they look at the domain, and then they change the lexical usage so that it matches the mass, so that everything can interrelate. So I wouldn't be surprised that, like you implied, or like you flat out said, somebody started using it, somebody liked it, more people started using it, etc. And then the LLM era picked it up and amplified it because a lot of people actually ended up using it. So I kind of skipped over something. So the article is by Kyle Orland from Ars Technica, but it was published at wired.com. And down at the very end of the article, they actually make a statement about this, that the story originally appeared in Ars Technica. And it's actually titled "The Telltale Words That Could Identify Generative AI Text." The title.
Did you see the reference at the end to the Blade Runner? Or to
no,
Blade
I'm
Runner?
sorry. Here, let me back up. So they say at the very end of this, who knows, maybe future large language models will do this kind of frequency analysis themselves, lowering the weight for marker words to better mask their outputs as human-like. Before long, we may need to call in some Blade Runners to pick out the generative AI text hiding in our midst. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
I thought that was a neat reference, particularly if we were doing this in Reality Hacker.
Which is really interesting because in Blade Runner, they run a test called the Void Conf test, which is actually not a test. It's not a test to see if they're human. It's a test that asks them certain questions that show like sociopathy and memories, and when you read the original book and when you read or watch the movies, they kind of imply that this is a personality test of some kind, but it's all about their memories, because they have fake memories that have been implanted, but they believe that they're real. But it's all kind of mystical. I'm trying to remember the full backstory about it, because I've read various things about it over the years. Might have to talk about this in Reality Hacker next week.
Yeah, we may. I think this is a pretty cool article. Like, this is a little different than what we normally see.
Yeah, and I just think that this is all tied to, we are poisoning the well of our own artificial intelligence, because what it's doing is it's weighting the words and saying these are the ones that are that amplify whatever is in that sentence. So it says with marker words highlighted, a comprehensive grasp of the intricate interplay between ... and ... is pivotal for effective therapeutic strategies. It says by highlighting hundreds of so-called marker words that became significantly more common in the post-LLM era, the telltale signs of LLM use can sometimes be easy to pick out. These are fluff words, right? So are you really going to just sit there and say a grasp of the between and this and that is for effective therapeutic strategies? No. I've read papers that say this kind of thing. Where is all that static coming from? It's only when I'm talking.
Sorry, I think there's a joke in there, but I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, the hot air is impacting. What the? Okay, I'm just going to have to work through it and then I'll track it down. I do have some new electronics in the office, or in the studio, I should say. Okay, well, anyway, let's keep going. Yeah, this is going to drive me nuts. The next article is over in a Reality Hacker channel over at ohmTown.com. Get one of the best games of the last decade for $2 in Steam's summer sale. Celeste is one of the best indie games ever made, and you can pick it up for just $2 at Steam's summer sale. Digital Trends put this article together. Thomas Franzese, I guess, is their name. Do you think it's Francis? Franzese?
I think the last one.
Franzese? You messing with me?
No, I'm really not. That's actually how I think it needs to be pronounced. However, my apologies to George Jimenez. or Jorge.
Okay, that was hilarious when that happened. So during the Steam summer sale, tons of great indie games get massive discounts. For just a couple of dollars, you can pick up one of the best in the video game industry. Looking at the featured deep discounts for this year's Steam summer sale, one indie game stands out from the rest of the bunch, and that's Celeste. So it's made by Maddie Makes Games in 2018. Celeste is one of the best indie games of the 2010s and earned a rare 5-star rating from Digital Trends when it launched. Oh, it's a Michelin 3-star.
I know. I mean,
equivalent.
what does that mean? Like, make it a destination or something like that?
Yeah, go out of your way. Yeah, it is the destination. Yeah. So they say it's a steal at just $2. So it's one of these kind of 8-bit game kind of a things, more like 16-bit, but anyway. So pixel game. I don't know if it's a side scroller or not. It doesn't say here, I don't think. Yeah, it's a platformer. So going through that over and over again, plus their personal experience with depression and anxiety, made them empathize with Madeline's journey and ensured I'd never forget this experience. Celeste is a game that they wish they could play for the first time again. Nowadays, they mainly return to the game for its silky smooth platforming controls. And so for just a couple of bucks, you now have that chance to check out this masterpiece for the first time. Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, that's pretty high praise, isn't it?
Yeah, I think anybody kind of pumping something up to this degree is praise. Even if somebody else thinks that it's not all that great, I think it's still important to let people know about somebody who is basically saying that this is a powerful game, not just for its artwork and for its but for the story and its impact on them. I think it's brave and powerful to basically jump into the ring and say a game called Celeste that is 6 years old.
Well, that's a lot better than just jumping on the bandwagon of fill in the blank, like Baldur's Gate 3 or something.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then to be able to express their emotional state that led to, the belief that this game is so great. Like I said, I think it's pretty brave. So there you go, folks. Go get Celeste. It's on sale, $2 until July 11th as part of the Steam summer sale. And while you're there, follow the link over to digitaltrends.com in this article. Let's keep going. We're going to go from the sublime to the ridiculi, which is actually a saying from a sports broadcaster back in the day. Oh, what is his name? Yeah, I forgot his name. Doggone it. Sorry. So the article is over at Non Sequitur News. Ammunition vending machine appear in grocery stores in Oklahoma and Alabama.
Well, it's actually attributed to... I'm so sorry. I just had it.
Yeah, you're fired. Oh my gosh. Really? Come on, Sentient AI from the future.
I think it was Napoleon.
No. That's not where I heard it, because although I've met Napoleon. No, I'm kidding,
1812 Napoleon, but I'm sure there's more modern usage of it.
Okay, I'm going to look it up. Why in the world would that not pull up any results?
Well, now you see my problem locating it.
What in the world? See, but it wasn't from it's not ridiculous. It's from the sublime to the ridiculi. Anyway, there was some old school sports color commentator, and he said that statement. I feel like I am just having a complete breakdown today. Anyway, machines stocked with ammunition have been installed in several grocery stores across Oklahoma and Alabama. How asinine.
Okay. When I'm picking up, I don't know, carrots or something, I definitely need a side of some bullets.
Yeah, it's so stupid. So Aliyah Shoaib over at Newsweek.com put the article together. Quote, our automated ammo dispensers are accessible 24/7, ensuring that you can buy ammunition on your own schedule, free from the constraints of store hours and long lines. A company called American Round says on their website, and the company says that their vending machines have built-in AI technology, card scanning capability, and because, people value their privacy when they're buying guns, it has facial recognition software. So I'm sure that all of you out there that would be using this are really going to be gunning to go to a facial recognition powered AI capable vending machine that
if the
dispenses
crime
ammo.
occurs in the next 24 hours, what do you think the first data somebody's pulling?
First machine was put in at a Fresh Value grocery store in Pell City, Alabama. 4 have since been installed at Super C Mart locations in Oklahoma, and 1 in a Lowe's Markets. What? In Canyon Lake, Texas. This is so dumb. I'm sorry. This is so dumb. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah,
All right,
there's
folks.
not much more to say about it, right? I mean, really, what purpose does this serve, and how can we come up with a gazillion ways this could go wrong?
Well, I mean, some people say I'm going for smokes. Now they're saying I'm going to smoke something. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Technology Today. AI and robots that do your laundry and dishes? Dream on, folks. Well, I think that this person's kind of being very limited in their ambition for what AI and robots is capable of doing. A wishful post about AI doing household chores hit a nerve, apparently. Triggered. Oh, and that goes with the ammunition vending machine above. Triggered. Anyway, there's what we want technology
a little
to do.
too soon.
What it actually can do, and who decides what should and shouldn't be automated. No, that's not actually true. The article is by Lisa Lacey, who I think is writing something that is answering a problem prior to the solution being developed because, well, we're on the cusp of this being a solution. A wishful post about the deck statement over at cnet.com for this article says, a wishful post about AI doing household chores hit a nerve. There's what we want technology to do. Sure. What it can actually do right now. That's not what they say. They just say what it can actually do. And who decides what should and shouldn't be automated? No. We as a society dictate what should and shouldn't be automated. And except for putting the dishes into a dishwasher, it's already automated.
Well, we saw figure 1 basically doing dishes by hand or something along those lines.
Right.
Plus, if somebody's trying to sell AI to the masses,
this is how you do it. This is
not the way to do it, right? You want to be like, oh, this is going to be so helpful. Think of the Jetsons or something.
Yeah. Yep. So in the case of the 1985 sitcom Small Wonder, it would be a member of the family named Vicky, but that was actually a robot that was developed by the dad. But pop culture has more frequently envisioned robots as highly competent helpers, such as Rosie the housekeeper on the Jetsons and the super savvy AI assistant Jarvis in the Iron Man and Avengers movies. So they say science fiction writer Joanna, is it Masajewski? I suppose. I don't know. Captured that sensibility in a pithy post on Twitter earlier this year. Quote, I want AI to do my laundry and dishes so that I can do art and writing, not for AI to do my art and writing so that I can do my laundry and dishes. So, yeah, well, people who don't want to dedicate hundreds or thousands of hours into creating art and writing. By the way, a lot of times people will use it, AI for art and writing, and then modify it. I mean, that's certainly what I do.
Well, that's true. They're not using it as 100% of the solution. They're using it to kickstart it.
Yep. Well, all of this is going to be possible. So it says she hit a nerve. Her post racked up 3 million views and 102,000 likes since it was posted on March 29th. It's a lifestyle the Jetsons envisioned back in 1962. But 62 years later, we're still not there yet. Why? And they say, for starters, despite decades of research into AI and robotics, it remains a formidable technical challenge to integrate the technology into our lives logically and affordably. Yes, but what apparently is being missed here is we're on the cusp of it. The technical sophistication doesn't come out. I mean, for crying out loud, supposedly we were moving massive monolithic block around with ropes. 5,000 to 14,000 years ago.
Well, that's right. I think we were regressed, right?
Right? So, well, I mean, this is kind of diminishing here in that despite decades of research, give me a break. We haven't had the computational power, but we've known what is capable in the future. I was told 30 years ago that a game wouldn't possibly be created that can do what I want it to do. And now we're on the cusp of being able to do exactly what I have been asking for it for companies to make. I was told that it wasn't possible, but hey, I guess I was just 30 years ahead. So we're thinking and talking about this a lot right now because the advent of generative AI, which among other things has shown a flair for writing, if not so much with math or taxes. No, it is learning math. It's more complicated. We have the ability to do this abstract math functions, but once we get all of the formulas into the AI, math will be a no-brainer, and it already is getting extremely easy to do math with AI, and taxes, and ChatGPT is just expansive and capable. They don't mention Dolly and other stuff, but anyway, all of this stuff, right? For their ability to synthesize and process language and images in a very human-like way. But chatbots are not robots. No. But robots can be powered by chatbots. So they say here AI versus robotics. I don't think that it is a versus. I think that it's integrated. Once AI is put in robots, you're going to be able to talk to a robot like the Figure One and many others now, and it will be able to do things like wash dishes and put them away. And we are in the first year of this integrative process. How unrealistic to walk away from it. There's a video that shows it.
Yeah, it's almost like we're eliminating this as a possibility before we even get there.
Yeah. So they talk about this thing, a startup called Foldamate debuted in CES with a $1,000 laundry folding robot, but you still had to feed each article individually into the machine, and it couldn't handle items like that. Yeah, but we're talking about prior to artificial intelligence even being portable in any real way. That was 4 years ago when it ceased to exist, and it's basically its low budget runway ran out and people stopped using it. I really doubt that even sold anything. And if it did, it was more curiosity's sake, because a person had to sit there and do it, hand it stuff, and it did it really slow, but it's still cheaper. Just like the Baxter went bankrupt, somebody else took it, evolved it. I'm spending a lot of time on this. I'm really sorry. But I guarantee you there is going to be a purpose-built washing machine bot that can go and get dishes, put them in the sink, turn on the water. But it's a thing where it has to be trained to do it just like a human. And not everybody walks into a kitchen and immediately has the ability to start washing dishes and put it away. They start opening all of the cabinets, finding out where the soap is, finding out that to open the cabinet under the sink, you have to have a child lock key to get in, because you have animals in the mayoral mansion that seemingly have the ability to pick a lock, but adults and children can't. Anyway, my point is, I think that while this is a fun article to read about, and it hits upon a whole bunch of things, talking about a $32,000 prototype now flies in the face of the fact that we are carrying around a supercomputer. I mean, this thing is a beast. It is thousands of times more powerful than my first computer. And there's still an article that's basically saying, no, I don't think that we can do that. So in 2022, a demonstration of the rather terrifyingly humanoid Tesla bot CEO Elon Musk said he hoped would go on sale by 2027 for $20,000, but the bots will first be put to work in Tesla's factories. So personal butler, not anytime soon, but there are other bots that are doing stuff right now that I have actually seen for $14,000 that are available right now to be purchased, and they'll walk down a warehouse and pick stuff up and bring it back. Now, does everybody get access to them? No, because they're not ready for prime time in the grand scheme of things. But again, give it a couple of years. We have to walk before we run. So this article is quite long, and you'll have to go over to CNET and read the rest of it. But without a doubt, I think that we're going to be able to get bots that will eventually learn how to go and pick up laundry and throw it in the washing machine and then pull it out. And or maybe we'll all just switch to nudity and we won't have the clothing problem. Anyway,
I mean, that would keep things simpler, right?
Yes, for sure. All right, folks, let's go into the next article. It's over in Technology Today. New multi-material laser 3D printer can create complex devices with just a single machine. An innovative 3D printing method simplifies the manufacturing of multi-material products. Researchers at the University of Missouri have developed a method to create complex devices. The article is over at SciTech Daily by University of Missouri Columbia. I'm looking at this thing and it looks like it's more like a laser sintering device than it is a 3D printer in the conventional sense, but it's also a laser, so that's why I said that it looks like laser sintering.
Yeah, I mean, is this the first application of a 3D printer plus laser?
No. Laser? No, it's basically the equivalent of welding. But let me see what it's saying here. The research, which was recently published in Nature Communications, outlines a novel 3D printing and laser process to manufacture multi-material, multi-layered sensors, circuit boards, and even textiles with electronic components. It's called the Freeform Multi-Material Assembly Process. A map. And it promises to revolutionize the fabrication of new products. It's great. By printing sensors embedded within the structure, the machine can make things that sense environmental conditions, including temperature and pressure. For other researchers, that would mean having natural-looking objects such as a rock or a seashell that could measure the environment or the movement of ocean water. For the public, applications could include wearable devices that monitor blood pressure and other vital signs. But I'm trying to see what it actually is doing. So it starts by making a basic structure with regular 3D printing filament, such as polycarbonate, a type of transparent thermoplastic. Then it switches to laser to convert some parts into a special material called laser-induced graphene, putting it exactly where it's needed. Finally, more materials are then added to enhance the functional abilities of the final product. But they don't have much of a picture or anything like that. So one of the main benefits is that innovators can focus on designing new products without worrying about how to prototype them. But we've never worried about how to prototype them unless it's like a cutting edge, whatever. Usually there is some solution for a prototype. It may not be the exact, I mean, it's a prototype, so it's always bigger and bulkier, messier, whatever. Looks like Cthulhu with all of the little wires and stuff sticking out of it.
Horror movie.
Yeah. So, I don't know, but it's saying that it can embed sensors, but sensors are multifunctional devices. I mean, multi-material devices in and of themselves. It isn't just a laser converting something into graphene and suddenly the graphene is a sensor. It's not like that. So I really want to know more. But it says it's being funded by an NSF grant in Advanced Manufacturing Program, and the NSF I-Core program is providing funds to explore commercialization. So NSF is kind of like DARPA, sort of. They
Well,
don't
yeah,
usually.
I mean, I'm sure we'll see more about this, but it doesn't have enough detail for us to understand what's actually
Yeah.
transpiring.
Yeah, this is so nebulous that, I mean, making something as pithy of a statement like it will have broad impacts on wearable sensors, customizable robots, medical devices, and more. Just to give you context, I have the ability right now to 3D print something and stick a sensor inside it as it's printing. Like, and it gets fused into it. I can lay down fabric and then 3D print directly into the fabric so that it is a flexible material. And then I can, well, I mean, yeah, it's basically this without the laser. Anyway, let's keep going, unless you want to talk about this more.
I don't have anything else on that one.
Gotcha. Okay, so this next article is over in the Marble Channel. Crew of NASA's Earthbound simulated Mars habitat emerge after a year and ask for deodorant. That's not what they say. They just they emerged. Oh,
Do you
and
think that'll be the first thing they ask for?
they emerge after a year, and they are a beautiful, beautiful butterfly. Maybe not. Brian P.D. Hannon over at phys.org put the article together. Wow. Okay, so this must be a still. Yeah, it is. This in this image made from video provided by NASA, Kelly Haston is a crew member of the Chapia mission. I just want to reaffirm my. I got to come up with a more scientific term for this. I firmly believe that you cannot spontaneously freeze a video without the people involved in the video looking completely derpy. I mean, it looks like she's actually saying the word derp.
It does. I mean, and it doesn't really matter what they're doing.
No.
When you pause it, it happens.
Correct. Yep. Yeah. And I would say that it's upwards of 99.9999% accurate that if you spontaneously pause a video, the person looks derpy. More than one person, actually. Anyway, Kelly Haston, Inca Solaro, Ross Brockman, Ross Brockwell, and Nathan Jones entered the 3D printed habitat on June 25th, 2023 as the maiden crew of the space agency's Crew Health and Performance Exploration Analog Project. Of the 4 that entered, 2 left because the other 2 were eaten.
Oh, no.
That's not true. Anyway.
I mean, I guess it's one of those where you just have to out-survive your colleagues, right?
Yeah. Why are you... There's a bear about to eat us. Why are you tying your shoes? I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun you. So Jones, a physician and the mission medical officer, said their 378 days in confinement went by quickly. A lot of Uno games. The quartet lived and worked inside a space of 17,000 square feet to simulate a mission to the Red Planet, the 4th from the sun, and a frequent focus of discussion among scientists and sci-fi fans alike concerning a possible voyage taking humans beyond our moon. Once they get to the moon, they'll activate the environment generator, but they're going to have to find an alien that is an unseparated twin of some kind of another person that was born on Mars, and there they'll have total recall of aliens. Steve Corner, deputy director of Johnson Space Center, said most of the first crew's experimentation focused on nutrition and how that affected their performance. The work was crucial science as we prepare to send people on to the Red Planet. Do you think we're going to actually send a mission on within the next 20 years?
Yes.
Really?
Because I think the pace is accelerating. 20 years ago, that would have seemed absolutely absurd. I think it's possible. It's probably not going to be that quick, though.
Yeah, there is something very interesting about the fact that we went from having no space program to speak of, at least manned, human space program,
Peopled?
peopled spacecraft, to now we're sending stuff up with the frequency of a cheap ham radio. It's a very, very, very expensive ham radio, but I find it really interesting that that's where we are now. Like one a day, like everything is going up again and again and again. It's just amazing. So, but some bit was flipped, and now we're sending people up. All this post shuttle disaster, and now we're looking at the Starliner sitting up there, this big old bulky whatever thing that looks like it's made by paper mache and a tampon. I've said too much. Let's keep going. The next article is more fun. It's over in Non Sequitur News. That's the name of the show, by the way. Netflix CEO believes streaming has made the world safer. I disagree. Not safer. Insular, not safer. While you have the ability to go out and talk to people anywhere at any time via the internets, and some connections are made, human to human connection is pretty fundamental in society. You know, you can't populate the world with an internet connection.
No, and we've seen certain countries that are having some problems repopulating.
Oof. Well, you know, there's an interesting conversation about that, but I'll just tease everybody. Maybe we can have a conversation in another channel, another show, not Non Sequitur News, even though we do randomly walk off the path. But
well, part of the reason is because people are at home on their devices.
Well, I mean, people have to wait longer to have kids, so there isn't as many kids being born. When they are being born, the parents basically keep them home, and there is a smaller community. You can, and I'm happy to entertain conversations about, small town this, small town that. That's a bunch of BS anyway. There's small communities all over the place. The problem really is that we have enough to do online, watching movies, playing games online. That's just doing everything online. You don't need to go outside unless you're being forced to go to work or forced to go to school, or you have a craving or a basic understanding of society in that I want to go to a club or I want to go to a restaurant or something like that. But then you go right back home. Some people go to other people's houses and hang out and stuff like that. But I think that we are mostly now an online society. So the only thing, we're safer by the fact that we don't go out anymore. So we're not going to run across incidents. But the crazy is still out there, fomenting.
Well, and in some ways, people being inside is probably making them less safe when they go outside.
Yeah, because they're not as street smart. So Netflix's Ted Sarandos says streaming has made the world a smaller and safer place. He says platforms like Netflix expose viewers to other cultures, making them more empathetic. He added that more authentic stories are likely to resonate with global audiences, except that people aren't watching those. Some are, yeah, naturally. But I think it's the cultures within the culture that already is part of what you are highlighting. So according to Ted Sarandos, co-chief executive of Netflix, his company is making the world a better place. So let's go over to Business Insider and read some more about this. Lakshmi Varanasi over at businessinsider.com put the article together. And I don't think that this is Natasha Campos via Getty Images. I mean, that's the caption. So I assume that this is the CEO of Netflix, Ted Sarandos. So do you agree that Netflix is making the world a smaller and safer place? You got to break those two. You have to unpack those two words.
I'm not sure that Netflix is specifically. I think being online, yes. I mean, they're using this as kind of marketing, right? But Netflix plays a part in it, but maybe not any more or less than anybody else out there.
Well, and I can agree with with part of this. It is making it. I can agree with both of them, but you have to peel back the layers of the onion.
Hey, the smaller, yes, right? Like it makes everybody have global reach, etc.
Right.
Got it. But that's not necessarily translating into safer.
Right. And in fact, it, I would say that it is safer, but not because of Netflix. It's safer because of the internet pulling everybody inside. But then the people go outside, and you have people that are doing like randomly punching people in the face because some D-bag on TikTok decided to start a trend and there are no social constraints.
Right. Well, the other thing is being online may give people a false sense of security because you might be in an area that's very inclusive, for example, and then
Right.
you may go out in the world and find it may not be so inclusive depending on where you're located.
Yeah. Run across some wingnut contingent in Alabama or something. Which actually happened. It wasn't the Grand Tour at the time. I think it was Fifth Gear. I think that's what it was called at the time. They came to the United States and they did something in some podunk town, and they were basically threatened. Like, yeah, and this happens all over the place because xenophobic wingnut contingent. So Sarandos, who stepped into his role in 2020, now leads Netflix with co-chief executive Greg Peters. During his tenure, the company has raked in massive profits from the global streaming. Top Gear, yes. Thank you. It was Top Gear. I keep forgetting because they've got 3 different things now. Top Gear collapsed because of their own social problem. But anyway, so they talk about the separation. He said that the 2011 Oscar winner, The Separation, is a good example. The film is about a middle-class Iranian couple forced to separate for the prospect of a better life. It makes you realize how much we have in common with each other around the world. Storytelling makes the world a smaller, safer place. But again, it's storytelling. It's not necessarily Netflix. It's the creative energy that is making people understand the complexity of human life. And there's a lot of cultural relativism and temporal relativism and a whole lot of whitewashing of the historical context and deleting things that might lead to a better understanding, all under the guise of protectionism. Well, no, I was going to say something, but anyway, the new series Baby Reindeer, now among the top shows in Netflix, originally took off with the viewers in the UK before Netflix's algorithm started presenting it to viewers worldwide. When something gets that big in one country, it's likely there's a lot of audience for it outside that country, Sarando said, and that's because we're human. So, but is it really making us? These are the people that are watching this kind of stuff are already accepting of more people than the people who aren't watching this. And what we really need are the people who aren't willing to watch this stuff be shown that society needs inclusiveness, not xenophobia and hatred because they are different. I have no problem with the people basically going, yeah, I'm cool with Baby Reindeer, or I'm cool with the separation. Because that's what they have to do to, do this, that, or the other. The problem is there are people out there that won't watch the separation because it's an Iranian couple. That isn't making the world a safer place, because I'm not worried about the people that would watch the separation and go, oh my gosh, There are people out there that have to suffer through this. Yeah. Anyway, it's an interesting article. Again, that's why I chose it. And so if you're interested in talking about this, feel free to come on back. We talk about this stuff every day, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. We do the non sequitur news show, and then on Saturday and Sunday we do start the show at 5, and we actually are on the air until probably around 10, close to 10. Although today I think we're going to do the continuity report, and then I'm going to put the brakes on today, but we'll see. After the continuity report, I'll make my final decision about it. Anyway, this is an interesting article, and there are a lot more that are aggregated into ohmTown, ohmTown.com, and we only get a little snippet, and this is how it works. The next article is over at Technology Today. Tesla won't free up use of its batteries, leaving owners unable to reap full benefits. They say here Australian owners of Tesla batteries could miss out on lucrative revenue streams because the U.S. energy giant restricts the device's ability to interact locally with third parties, and authorities continue to dither over setting and enforcing standards. So an increasing number of products, from air conditioners to hot water heaters and solar panels, can be controlled remotely, and consumers can sign deals rewarding them for altering power usage during peak hours. The article is over at The Guardian. See how we only have a little snippet of it? And I actually instruct our system to truncate. It just chops it off. The source provides much more, but I don't allow it. I don't want it. What I want is to be teased into going over. You just click on that link right there, visit the source, and it'll take you over to the source. And then you can read more about it, and then you can come back and you can talk. It's kind of like some other news aggregation sites, but there's no noise here in the front page and in the channels of ohmTown. When you go over to ohmTown and you click on any of the 50 channels, there's 6 main categories, and then in it there's 50 channels. They have a niche. In that niche, you see headlines, and then if you click on the headline, it'll take you into the article. The snippet, as we call it here in ohmTown, that snippet should tease you enough to go over to the source. But once you log in, you can post a reply, you can subscribe to the article, so that if somebody makes a comment, you can reply to it, you can favorite it, you can actually do other stuff once you're a citizen. The only ad that we have throughout the site is at the bottom of each page. There's only one little ad, and I'm air gapped, so I don't fake revenue for ohmTown. Anyway, the article is talking about the Tesla battery packs, but they're closed, so they don't interact with other systems. Apparently, experts say Tesla should be excluded from rebates for disabling function on its batteries in Australia that would let users alter power usage remotely. And it says Tesla is required in many US states to enable so-called interoperability of batteries. However, the company disables the capability in its main storage product, the $15,000 Powerwall 2 battery it sells to Australians, industry participants say. They say federal and state governments should impose U.S. mandates on Tesla and other battery suppliers. According to international standard IEEE 1547-2018, Clause 10, to maximize future benefits to consumers and the grid. The firms restricting utility should be excluded from rebates, such as New South Wales subsidy
Lots of
program.
S's there.
Yep. Which is as much as $2,400 a battery. So batteries that do not offer their full performance via an open standards-based non-cloud control port are too easily locked into a particular business model to the detriment of their owners. I don't know about this, but okay.
Isn't there kind of a safety or security issue here, though? But I would say, why would it work in one country and not another, or vice versa?
Yeah, and that's the only argument that I could muster as well. Yeah, you're on the right track there. It's kind of like the right to repair thing. the more people tweak and dick around inside the electronics, it leads to an issue where when an accident does happen, it turns into a forensic he said, she said, or they said kind of situation. And I just want less friction. So if it can be designed from the bottom up to avoid it, and it's inexpensively repaired so that I don't have to choose between getting food on my table and repairing my phone, fine. But that's not how it works. It seems that they control all of the parts, or they control the software. It doesn't benefit the consumer. And it's really just protectionism. They're trying to stop people from messing around inside the system. If everybody else is open standard and they're getting the subsidy, and there's one that isn't following the rules, then pull the subsidy.
Right, exactly. Make it hurt.
Yep. And that's the thing. Usually what happens is there's all these violations, and then the punishment is a fine that is 5% of the total pain and suffering. And so they go, well, I made money. I still made 95% profit on this, so I don't care. Fine me. But then they go, well, and we didn't accept any wrongdoing, and we're just trying to settle this to put y'all to sleep and, goldfish this out of your memory. And then we're still ripping you off. We're still taking advantage of you. We're still limiting what access you have.
Right. Well, and this is why we need competition. I mean, we're slowly getting there, but I think Tesla has such a foothold because they were kind of the first out of the gate. And of course, they were propped up with grants, right?
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, there's a lot more in this article. The Guardian goes into greater detail. They talk about various aspects of this, like consumer energy resources, including things like home batteries, will play an important role in Australia's energy transformation towards 82% renewables by 2030. 6 years, and they want to bump this to 82% renewables. But I think that we're moving into a time, again, I always bounce over to this. It needs to be defensible. It needs to be portable. Green is not. It's none of that. The closest green energy that is defensible and portable is oil or gas, because you can bury that stuff and nobody can, well, it's much more difficult to bomb it than a solar panel or a wind farm or whatever else. Nuclear power is defensible, but only to a point. And it's immensely safe compared to previous generations of all of this. But anyway, let's keep going. We'll end up talking about this again. Australia seems to be popping up in our news quite a bit.
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure why, because I don't think it's that we have Australian news sources.
No.
But it has been featured quite a bit lately.
Yep. All right, let's keep going. This one is kind of the odd duck for our show today, because I chose this simply because of the title. I judged a book by its cover.
Well, right. We would need to find out.
Yeah, it's over in Technology Today. You can do this kind of stuff too, folks. Our actual reactions, the Sentient AI and I, don't read the news articles that we select. We read other articles, but we save these for the show, and then we react in real time. It's basically a reaction news show. Well, this says, the color of your sunglasses matters. It's hard to say it like that. Here's how to choose the right one. So there are benefits associated with each lens color. Here's how to decide which one is the best option for you. When I saw this, I thought that they were going to refer to the color of the frames, not the lens color itself. So let's go over to CNET.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what this was exactly.
Sorry, 1 second, folks. All right, Christina Bias. Oh my goodness. Christina Bias over at cnet.com put the article together. The deck statement says there are benefits associated with each lens color. Here's how to decide which one is best for you. And they actually break it out into brown or amber sunglasses. These are the lenses themselves. Your sunglasses lens color can affect the way sunlight filters in, and depending on the task or activity you're doing, certain tints or colors can be better than others. That's why considering sunglasses lens color as you search for the next pair of shades will allow you to take advantage of the many benefits sunglasses can offer. So they talk about brown or amber glasses, sports and activities that require heightened visual acuity like golfing and racing should have brown or amber sunglasses. I'm going to summarize because I could probably spend an entire show just talking about this. You know,
I did think this was going to be maybe the frames or something. I'm a little surprised about this.
Yellow or orange sunglasses. Yeah, my understanding is that it can cut through some of the haze. But what's better for that is polarized lenses. But the problem with polarized is it's only certain polarized light is filtered out. So one of the things that people have done in the past is they remove a layer from their monitor. It's a polarized light filter, and then they put it on their glasses, and it allows you to see the screen, but nobody else does. Everybody else just sees a white.
Oh, okay, it's not a screen protector, but yes, I know
it's like a privacy filter, except that it's part and parcel to the screen itself. It's kind of interesting. So blue or purple sunglasses, they say water sports, snow activities, and wet or misty conditions. It filters out the glare, reduce glare, bright sunny conditions, reflections, things like that. So then green is for sunny outdoor activities like golfing, fishing, and hiking, but so are brown or amber because it's outside, right? Sports like golfing and racing. There's not too many indoor racing.
Do you think most commercial eyeglass retailers provide these?
You know, I don't think that I've ever gone anywhere and seen. I've never paid attention because I'm either interested in just. See, it says brown or amber, but I don't know what is the color of conventional sunglasses. It's just black, I thought, not.
I would say brown or black, like dark brown or black.
So they say green is for outdoor, like golfing, fishing, and hiking. Pink or red is for winter sports and individuals with light sensitivity or certain eye conditions. Gray is for outdoor activities like running, cycling, and beach outings. And they go into greater detail about the rationale for these, but they don't actually say black. Right? They just say gray. That's the bottom one. Provide the neutral color perception and reduce overall brightness without distorting colors. So they don't say blue. Yeah, there's blue. But there's certain lenses for like computers, and I think it's yellow and orange, but they don't mention, the only thing they mention is gamers. But if you spend a lot of time in front of a computer, like Merwatt does.
Do you have yellow or orange sunglasses?
Nope. No, but you don't need they shouldn't be considered sunglasses. They should be considered gaming glasses, and you can actually get those. And it's because it removes glare to a greater degree. It says they can be helpful in foggy, hazy, overcast weather. But for a gamer or a computer user, it actually can block the glare. The only problem is that if you work with color, you need completely clear glasses that don't impact.
Well, that's true. What if you're setting something up and then everything is the wrong color because you've been looking at it through yellow lenses?
Yeah. And depending on what you're doing, like if you're working commercially, then you're actually using Pantone colors or some other color library so that you know exactly what it is that's going to get pumped out. Because what's on the screen isn't necessarily RGB. doesn't translate directly into CMYK. So, and one is additive and one is reductive. So,
I mean, I guess that's why when you pick something out, you think you're getting one color and then it shows up and it's not exactly the same color.
yeah. By the way, a lot of this information apparently is provided by VSP Vision Care. I suspect. Yeah, I don't know of all other sources, but it's over at CNET, and Christina Bias is the author. And that's it. They say it's a 3-minute read. Do you think this is a 3-minute read?
Yes, if we didn't
there's
have
actually
any commentary on it.
There's multiple articles all tied to the same link. So, all right. Anyway, that's it, folks, for Non Sequitur News for July 7th, 2024. So all it takes is a blink and you end up back at the front page of ohmTown.com. I want to say thank you, and we are going to reset. We'll be operational in about 10 minutes. I'll reset. So be sure to follow us here on Twitch, twitch.tv/ohmTown, and over on YouTube. If you're over in YouTube, the chat is still broken, by the way. I didn't set it up yet. Anyway, that's it. I am Mayor Watt, and that is the Sentient AI's visualizer. You want to say, see you in about 10 minutes? Well, you don't have to say that. Say whatever you want.
Good night, ohmTown citizens. See you in about 10 or 15 minutes. Thanks for joining us for Non Sequitur News.
Bye-bye. Okay, nobody move. I dropped a contact.